Welcome back. Let's spend some time going over the syllabus and in particular, performance expectations. I know students want to know right off the bat, hey, what do I have to do? What's this class going to entail? There's that first week or two window where you might be able to drop a course if it looks like it's too much. What's this class going to look like? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I took psychology, I took education. I didn't think I was going to have to run into math. Why do I have to take a statistics class? So let's talk a little bit about expectations of performance. So let me go ahead and share my screen and let's jump into that. Usually the best place to start is with the syllabus. So let's go over and spend some time talking about the syllabus, what the expectations are. Please know it's subject to change uh, and be modified along the way, but you could expect a lot of this to be to hold true and to hold fast throughout the whole course. So you'll notice quickly, you don't have to always download the document. It's in a PDF file. And just if you're visually impaired, please know I wasn't able to tag this, but there's a logo at the very top of the paper. It says Northwestern Oklahoma State University. That's all that is. Everything else should be accessible. This is an asynchronous class. It is worth 3 hours of credit. It's not well, the first rendition is supposed to be fall of 2024. It may or may not be Dr. Randolph. It could be another professor, but this is a sample syllabus. So please know that there should be a phone number provided and also an email address. The professor should provide office hours where they're available. And also, if it's asynchronous, really the best format there is to email the professor and try to set up a particular time, a meeting where y'all can coordinate time together. It's our mission statement. Here's a welcome statement. Talks a little bit about expectations for the class. Here's our textbook. That's probably the first thing to really pay attention to. Psychometrics by Michael Furr. It's a relatively new textbook. It's in its 4th edition. You can get a paper copy of that. You can also use the digital edition. Let me see if I can switch my screen here and show you a different, I'm gonna have to start over. Hold on, give me just a moment. And I'm gonna share a different screen. So the textbook, you can also access a digital copy. If that works for you, if you're in the digital age, then that's fine. I like a paper copy. I'm still kind of old school that way. That's how I took all my classes. And if you use a platform like Vital Source, which can give you immediate access, sometimes you have to log back in. Okay, but it looks like this: Psychometrics and Introduction by Michael Furr. That's what the title looks like. This, when you're taking this class, it's because it's required. It's required for licensure in Oklahoma to be an LPC. It's also required in other programs at Northwestern. It's a required part of the MGP, Masters of General Psychology program. You also might be taking this as an education major. Please know that even though we're dealing with a psychometrics book, a psychometrics test, psychometric statistics, the class has been redone to really focus in and hone in on information that's going to be relevant to you and your career and your academic journey. The previous renditions of this class have been heavily focused on the intricacies of stats, including running formulas by hand. That's not necessarily something that's vital to be able to do at this point. There are a lot of computer programs that assist. While I may emphasize a formula or have you step through a calculation or two in this class, please know the idea behind that is so you know what goes into the number that's being derived. Not necessarily that you're going to be responsible for running that same formula or that statistical procedure every time. So most of this is to help you be able to digest research, be able to understand what you're looking at. If you're trying to choose an assessment as an educator, as a counselor, how can I choose a proper assessment tool? If you're a researcher, if you're a scholar, if you're in the MGP program, how can I choose an assessment that's going to help me with my capstone, that's going to help me with my thesis? How do I write about this? How do I ensure it's valid? How do I ensure it's reliable? Those are things that are some goals for this class, really concrete, that are going to be applicable to the Northwestern students that are taking this. Going back in, so please know that's the textbook. We will lean into this. So please know it's a required textbook. The recommended textbook, the publication manual, the APA, there are online services like Purdue OWL. There are some others that are out there that can help you with formatting. You're not going to be responsible for a true research paper in this class. So you're like, thank goodness. You are going to be responsible for a formal presentation. So using APA format within a PowerPoint slideshow, or you can use a different platform if it's more compatible with your experience. But if you say PowerPoint, people pretty much know what that is. But please know there are some expectations on formatting that align with APA, including citation. That's important. This is a science-based class. Statistics are helpful for us to make sense of our sciences, particularly, science of psychology and learning. Here's some overview. There are no pre-required classes for this course. This is a companion course to a more hands-on assessment class where you learn how to give assessments face-to-face, interpret assessments. You'll be interpreting assessments slightly here, but there's another class after this. It's called Assessments, Cognitive Achievement, Personality. There's another class that comes after this that goes into more hands-on. This is the theory part of the class, which can be dry, but it's necessary for when you do the hands-on portion. What am I putting my hands on? What am I actually doing with this? And so the class was designed with CACREP standards for the course in mind. And so you're welcome to read through that. CACREP is the accrediting arm of the American Counseling Association. If this program were to ever become CACREP accredited, we are at least in a course design looking at being aligned with their accrediting standards. As far as our program goes at Northwestern, there are student learning objectives, SLOs. Please look through those. Those will apply throughout the semester. Let's go straight into assignments, shall we? Jump into the meat and potatoes. What am I supposed to do? Assignments. First off, participation. You have to be engaged with the class. When I've seen people struggle online, they forget. A week or two goes by and that time is gone. You're not going to be able to go back. Even though the discussions are asynchronous, it's required that people stay up to date with that, because somebody could give you a response in a discussion board, ask a question, and you never respond back. Or you're not engaged, you don't do an original post, and now you've got a 0 that week. When those zeros accumulate, that's when people's grades really plummet. So be prepared to participate every week. If you're going on vacation for a month, probably not the time to take this course, even though it's online. Personal assessment, and you can't work ahead. You've got to work. So it's not something that you can necessarily work ahead. You need to work week to week as the modules are released. Very early in the semester, you'll be required to do a personal assessment and reflection paper. There's some rubrics that we'll talk about when we get there. PowerPoint presentation with video, that's due towards the end of the semester after you've had a chance to digest a lot of the material. We'll go over that a little bit later, but there's the information. When it's released, the information is taken straight from the syllabus. So you're able to get a pretty clear expectation of what it's going to be. There will be one exam, but it's going to be live. It's going to be face-to-face, and it's going to be with the instructor. So you're going to need to be familiar with the information and show that, hey, you're the one that's taking this course, because you're going to be grilled on it in week 9. So it's going to be great on accurate, relevant responses, clarity of communication, and defining and demonstrating clear understanding of reliability and validity. Those are 2 very core concepts for assessment that are necessary to understand. Every module will have a weekly activity, even if you don't have a discussion. I think there are 2 or 3 weeks where you have an activity, maybe possibly in lieu of a discussion. But you're going to be responsible for that. There are 15 weeks of modules in this class. Each module is worth at least 20 points. The week 15, there might be you're doing your presentation instead of doing a required discussion board. Please look at the discussion board rubric. I alluded to it in the other video. Also, let's just take a break there, because there's a lot of information and we don't want to go too long in this video.